Gemini, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early June 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Gemini collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends, in your birthday season, might I add. Let's shuffle it up one time, my guides. Talk to me. What energies, insights, messages do we have for the lovely Geminis? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's rock and see what we got for Gemini here. Early June 2024. And while I get this card out, I just want to wish each and every single one of you a very happy birthday from me to you. Whether it's just passed, whether it's still coming up, I hope you have a fantastic birthday. So let's get you one here. What do we got for Gemini in their birthday season? Please. There we go. Thank you. Okay, very dreamy type of energy here. And I often see this card show up in water sign readings. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and it's just very imaginative and dreamy, a lot on the mind. Now, it's not very analytical in its thinking, but there is this very strong active mind here in one form or another. And we'll talk about that. Before we do, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the June subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk a little bit more in depth about this card. So if you look at the imagery here, there's a beautiful etheric looking background. We have this lady, she has like a journal or a book with her, and it just feels very dreamy, daydreamy in a sense. Now, for some of you, this could represent sleep itself. You might be having like really interesting, vivid dreams in this time. You might want to try to remember what those are, because spirit could be trying to send you messages via dream. Okay, but for another portion of you, this could just be a very active imagination. So you might be thinking more than you normally do, or in la la land. There's nothing wrong with that. Listen, I'm a Pisces rising. I'm all about that imaginative type of energy too. But normally when I see this leading off of a reading, it could be spirit telling you like you might need some sort of outlet for these energies. So if you're thinking a lot, if there's something on your mind, or you're daydreaming more often, creative pursuits, creative endeavors are highly favored for you. So whether that's writing, whether that's art, whether it's sculpture, you name it, any sort of creative release, highly favored. So we're just going to put that down right there. Let's get into tarot. And I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. Let's get you 3 cards in upright, then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my Gemini friends in their birthday season, please. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading, my friends. Very beautiful energy I picked up last week. The reading was titled A Massive Victory. Now, I always say victories come in all different shapes and sizes, just like wins. So whether it's like monetary, whether it's emotional, whether it's personal relationships, you name it, I felt a really positive energy coming towards the Gemini collective. So just know, even if you haven't gotten that victory yet, it could still be in the works. These energies could still bleed over. But let's see what shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're linked to. But let's get it going here. 3 cards for Gemini, please. What do we got for my birthday friends? Thank you. 3 cups, party, party. That's good. Okay, so some of you might need to cut loose a little bit, have some fun. If that's not something you're currently doing, makes sense to see the 3 of cups in your birthday season. But we'll talk about that in a minute. I think that card sometimes gets a rough reputation, but I like that energy connected to the 3 of cups. I really do. Okay. All right. There's a little mystery starting to show up now, too. We have the High Priestess, very mystical, magical type of energy here. Okay. I wonder what you're doing here. And just like I said with that first card, remember I said I often see it around water signs. 2 cards of water sign energy here showing up here strong. Thank you. Okay. All right, so you're going to have a bonus here, my friends. We have the Tower. Do not be nervous about that. I saw that in the same exact position in the Aries reading. And you also have the 2 of Swords. Talk about unknowns. Okay, and we're really going to have to clarify to see what all of these could represent. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, as I mentioned, like we have some themes showing up here in a very powerful way. Notice we have this strong water energy here. Now, water energy is very emotional. It talks about how we feel on the inside. It could represent love and emotion in general, very creative and imaginative, but at the same time, 3 of the 4 cards that we have out on the board have a lot of like unexpected or mysterious type of energy attached, and you'll see what I mean as we move through. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this out. So position number 1, and it doesn't mean these cards have to be a bad thing. I mean, it could be good. It really depends. But we have the 3 of Cups. Now, as with all 3s, it could represent your circle of influence. It could represent people, more than 2. Okay, so whether it's like work or family or whatever, you name it, 3 represents a crowd. Okay, I don't always go third party situation when it comes with the 3 of Cups, because to me, this card is happy. These people are celebrating. It's filled with merriment and joyousness. It's like people having a really good time. So for some of you, maybe you're cutting loose a little bit, right? With the 3 of Cups, maybe you're having a good time, or Spirit could be telling you like, listen, Gemini, enjoy yourself, or you need to have some time, make some time for fun and cut loose. This is a very important thing to do from time to time. Now, when we get to the rougher side of the 3 of Cups, obviously, and you know me, I always like to give positive and challenge of every card. A challenge when it comes to the 3 of Cups is that it could represent a funky group dynamic for some of you, but it can also be overindulgence. So in this time, make sure you don't overdo it or overindulge in too much, right? It's all about balance in life. Moving to the center, though, we have the High Priestess. I don't judge. And she's Pisces energy. But for me personally, I like to give her to all the water signs. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And when I see the High Priestess, she is the matron of psychics, intuitives, tarot readers. So for a lot of you, your intuition could be trying to tell you something, or you could be throwing more energy into spirituality and spiritual practices, or Spirit could want you to do so. When this High Priestess is here, notice that she's next to the 3 of Cups and this Tower. A lot of you might feel like there's a big change looming or something's coming and you can't quite put your finger on it when the High Priestess is here. She's filled with wisdom and knowledge. So for a lot of you, learning new things, absorbing knowledge, diving down rabbit holes, all that good stuff. But the High Priestess, in her challenge, she represents secrecy. She represents the hidden, the unknown, the unexpected, all that stuff. And this is where this theme is going to start. And it's going to be pretty strong throughout the rest of this reading. Now, moving to the back end, as we will put this beautiful High Priestess right back here where she belongs, we have the Tower on the back end. Now, I always like to preface the Tower every single time by saying, yes, it's an energy of shock. Yes, it's an energy that comes out of nowhere, but it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a challenge. Now, it's Scorpio energy, so it represents change. It represents things shifting. There could be certain situations in your life where you're going to hit the reset button on it, whether purposely or whether the universe does it for you. The Tower could also be karmic in a sense, where it's like, okay, something needs to come crumbling down so something new can be built. And it just happens very quickly. It's explosive, it's shocking, it's sudden. Okay, so we're going to hope that this is a positive Tower, because once again, things could pop up out of nowhere that are very good. And we do have positive leaning energy here on the front end. I'm just hoping it isn't like a shift of energy or like something that comes up out of nowhere, like a problem or something. We'll see as we clarify them, because this is going to be very important. Now, when we get to your bonus card, I always like to say the bonus card is another footnote. We have the 2 of Swords. This could represent indecision. It could represent confusion. As with all 2s, it could be crossroads in life. It could be partnerships, all that good stuff. But notice this person is hoodwinked. It is dark out. There's the moon. So there is a lot of energy of the unknown. So after this 3 of Cups, it's like, okay, we're having a good time. We're chilling. We're partying. And then boom, it's like there's so much unknown and mystery happening here. So hopefully there's not things going on where you're out of the loop. But I want to dive deeper on all of this stuff, Gemini. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for my Geminis, please. Guides and Spirit team. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that 3 of Cups. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Gemini, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, 3 of Cups time. Why is it here? Quick. Wow, that was quick. Okay, So we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so this is somebody that is definitely enjoying something or wanting to enjoy it, but not really let others know about it. It's like, no, I'm going to enjoy this, but I'm going to keep it to myself. Odd energy, right? Like I said, it doesn't have to be yours. But we have this Page of Pentacles in reverse. Now, pages could represent new. Pages could represent aside from learning new things, it's also a card of communication. So when I see it in reverse, I would say this: watch out for any issues in communication in a group dynamic, like a family group or a friend group. There could be a lot of chatter, could be a lot of chit chat happening. Like, and it almost feels like gossip to me as well. So just know, like, in this coming week, there might be a little more gossip going around than there normally is. And I don't always get a message like that, Gemini. That's very peculiar for me. So I would say just watch for the gossip here, because you might be getting some juicy gossip. But when I see this Page of Pentacles in reverse under the Three of Cups, it's like, well, listen, this is something I enjoy, and I don't gotta tell anybody about it. I don't need to explain myself about it. Like, I'm gonna enjoy what I enjoy. Like, I'm gonna do what makes me happy. Like, that's just the energy that shows up here. I don't feel like this is the main part of the message, though. Remember, this is just what we're leading off with. So just to summarize, watch out for that gossip energy here, because you might be getting some juicy gossip this week. Or this is somebody just enjoying something and keeping it to themselves. Let's keep moving. Well, let's see what that High Priestess has to say, because I really want to get over to that tower and see if it's a good thing. I still feel for a lot of you, especially if, like, you're in any new things, like a new job or learning something new, like, make some time to cut loose. I feel like that's also important, because a thing with this Page of Pentacles, it's very, very studious. So in reverse under the Three of Cups, it's like, have some fun. Okay, so let's go in on that High Priestess here. I mean, it is your birthday season after all, right? Celebrate. Celebrate. Oh, Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. All right. So there is something, and I'm not going to say it's quite concerning just yet, because I feel like the tower is going to be the key. But notice that we have all this pentacle energy in reverse underneath. Now, when I see the High Priestess with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, watch out for any unexpected expenses or money issues in this time, because for a lot of Geminis, like, a certain expense might just pop up out of nowhere. But the Queen of Pentacles, if you're not connected to an earth sign, she's usually very abundant, very grounded. And I feel like this is someone that they're not very optimistic, and they feel something coming, and it's like, oh, any day now something's going to happen, or it's like worst case scenario thinking. That's kind of what I'm picking up here. But another thing, when I get pentacle energy in reverse, this does indicate change. So if there is like some big change coming into your life, or big change coming down the pipeline, I think your spidey senses could be tingling. That's like a vibe I'm picking up here. So if you're fine, if you're cool, you're content, and there's nothing going on right now, I feel like Spirit's telling you, like, you'll know, you'll feel it coming. When some big shakeup's about to happen, you're going to feel it coming. Okay, that's just how this feels to me. No, yeah, this is a big energy of the unknown too. So I want to see what the tower has to say. Okay, because I don't want to overcomplicate these messages. We'll talk about it more during the recap. But let's see what's going on with that tower. What is this shocking energy about for Gemini? I mean, I like the elemental combination. Yeah, all right, this is a good tower. This is a really good tower. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Now, also, it could be karmic. So I feel like this answer is split into a couple different sections. But either way, I feel like they're for the best. They're for the positive. I love the Wheel of Fortune. And one thing I will say about it, whether it shows up in the upright or reverse, this is my 4-leaf clover. It's my lucky charm. So I love that it's showing up here under the tower. Now, I will say this for a lot of Geminis. These energies are similar in a way, because they're both karmic. The Wheel of Fortune moves very quickly as well. So for a lot of you, whether this is a shocking change or a shift that you've already gone through and you're having a hard time adjusting to it, or this is one coming up where Spirit's like, all right, Gemini, brace yourself. For a little time, things might feel a little hectic, things might get a little hairy, but everything's going to be okay. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, aside from the karmic cycles, I do feel this shocking change energy coming in, and it is for the best here. This feels really good. And it doesn't feel like a conclusion, like something that's like, oh yeah, no, final conclusion. But the Wheel of Fortune to me here is really nice, and it's telling us that, like, even if you're not too optimistic and you don't feel like something's going to go well, it's like you're going to be surprised here. at how well something goes and how quick things pick up steam. I just really like this energy on the back end, because I've been eyeing up that tower ever since it popped out, because I know that it's very important. I know that in a very deep way. So I'm super happy that this came out. So for a lot of you, whether this is a shocking change or a win, remember we saw victory last week, we're seeing it again. I feel for a lot of you, this could be a very, very good thing, and it could pop in, boom, like out of nowhere. Okay, like completely unexpected. So let's go through and do a quick recap here, because yeah, there's a lot of mystery. There could be a lot of situations you're going through where it feels unresolved, or it hasn't reached its end point yet, and I think that's for a reason. But let's go through piece by piece and really get this recap in before the shadow card. If you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have the 3 of Cups with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, I do feel like there's going to be some juicy gossip coming down, or like there's going to be someone around you gossiping, or there's something about communication within a friend group that you need to watch out for. Not saying that you're gossiping, but it could just be you avoiding that. But for another portion of you, I do feel someone enjoying themselves and not really saying nothing about it, or doing something they enjoy and not caring what others think. There's also this message of Spirit telling you to make some time to have fun. Moving to the center, we have the High Priestess with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, our first indicator of something changing, like out of the blue. Another vibe I was picking up here is someone could be feeling a little pessimistic, like, oh, I don't know how this is going to work out. But I get the spidey senses tingling. So just know, if your spidey senses aren't tingling right now, when something's about to pop off, they will be. Like, you'll feel it in the air. Onto the back end, we have this Tower with the Wheel of Fortune, both extremely powerful karmic cards, both energies that come in very quick, shockingly. And I feel for a lot of you, whether this is a shocking change or win, and it could be both, I like this energy. I like this shakeup, especially with this earth energy in reverse underneath. So this shakeup is a good thing. So get ready for it, like strap in. So please take a screenshot of that if you want to look into it further. Let's get you a shadow card here. And let's shuffle it up one time. What do we have for Gemini? I'm happy that's a good tower, hopefully. I mean, depending on what you're going through, you might be like, oh, I've been through a tower, it's not that happy. I feel like the end result will be. I really do. So what do we have here in the shadows? And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the end of every reading, just to see whether it's something within you or something we don't quite see. Maybe we'll get a little more detail about all this mystery we're seeing. Yeah, it doesn't always have to be a bad thing, right? Shadow cards could be good too. And if you've made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. I really do. Okay, let's get this card out here. What do we got? What do we got for Gemini in the shadows? Quick. Okay, the Devil. Yeah, and a big thing with the Devil, if you're not connected to a Capricorn, to me it's very long-standing type of energy. I don't always go off the deep end and be like, oh, you have the Devil, watch out, be afraid, be scared of this, it's toxic. And I mean, of course it can be. I'm not making fun of anybody, I promise you that. But to me, the Devil energy is very similar to the Hierophant in the fact that it sticks around for a long time. It could represent behavioral patterns, it could represent habits and things like that. It's extremely earthy and grounded. So when we're seeing an energy like what we're seeing here, for a lot of you, whether it is a thought pattern, whether it is a habit, whether it is something that was not healthy for you, when the Devil shows up in the shadows, it is Spirit absolutely saying that this is going to come to light and it is going to be addressed. And if the person doesn't address it, the universe will in one way or another. And I'm not trying to scare anyone or anything like that. For a portion of you, if you are connected to a Capricorn, it could just be showing how powerful their energy is connected to yours. But the main thing I see here is there's something that's been around for a long time, whether a pattern, a thought process, or even a person, where there's a drastic change coming down the pipeline. So do with that information what you will, Gemini. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give the details of the June subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, my digital calendar is open on mastermetaphysics.com, so go ahead and check that out. And if you got your name in for the May subscriber surprise, the winners will be announced after this weekend's readings. But for the June subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Gilded Tarot Royale. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments if you could snap your fingers and visit anywhere in the world right now, where would it be? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.